The new one improved the live Fest here. I'm just trying to be able to make these videos in a quicker amount of time, right to the point here. And here goes. This is my top 10 venues. I made a video a long time ago about my favorite concerts I've been to, and some of these places were mentioned, but neither here nor there. I made a list of places that I've been to that are my favorites. There's five indoor places. The most recent one, and I guess took over as number one, was in Venice, Italy. Carrie and I went to a Vivaldi concert. Sketchy details. We have a ticket stub somewhere, so I can attest to the fact that we went to such and such a place on such and such a day and saw the Four Seasons by Vivaldi. Something I had no clue what classical music really at that level was all about, but it was outstanding. All right, next. I grew up in Connecticut. There was a lot of nice small venues. There are historic places like Woolsey Hall, the Guard Theater, and there were Bushnell theaters. There was one in Hartford. There was one in New Haven. Um, not Hartford and Waterbury. Um, Before my time, there might have been one in New Haven. Anyhow, I'm wasting the valuable seconds here. So my favorite one in New Haven, I'm going to have to give it to Wolsey Hall. There's something about the steep tradition of that building. I saw Stephen Stills there. I saw Tower of Power there. I saw Christie play a recital there. We went to an opera thing there. So it was fun. These other places in Connecticut, all excellent, but just not good enough, really. The New Haven Arena was a place that my father brought me to hockey, me and my brothers to hockey games. We saw the Globetrotters there, saw an NBA exhibition. I saw my first rock concert there. I saw ELMP. So this place was a dungy little indoor stadium, but it was has a special part, I guess, in my heart. The last one would be Prince Albert Hall in London, England. We went when Trey was studying abroad. We went there, and we um, we didn't see a concert per se. Well, we did see a concert, but that wasn't the important thing. It's just the aura of the building. We were in there. It was around the holiday season. It was a holiday themed choral concert from people from all over the world. For whatever reason, Trey and Trey and Carrie were worn out that day, and they really weren't into it the way I was. So we stayed maybe, I don't know, 45 minutes, and then we left. And I was good with that. I felt like I had seen uh, enough bling to last me a lifetime. With the exception of, I'll just go off the track for 1 second. We went to the Golden City in Bangkok, and they had this gigantic golden Buddha, and where was it? The Forbidden City, Golden City. I don't know. I'm off the beaten track, but anyhow, seen a lot of bling between that and this church in Venice and Prince Albert. I mean, I got some culture. I may not look like it, but I got a little bit. All right, let's talk about outdoor stadiums. It was hard. I just ripped this list off in 5, 10 minutes, and I'm going to talk about it for 5 or 10 minutes, and we're done. The old Yankee Stadium. I'm not talking about the one they have now. I'm not talking about this place that's somewhat of a joke as far as home runs being hit there. But the steep tradition of Joe DiMaggio, Babe Ruth, Thurman Munson, Reggie. Let's not, diminish him and Yogi. Um, the great moments. I mean, my father brought me to my first game there. That much I can attest to. Elton, Elston, Elston Howard. I do believe hit a home run that day. Some good moments at Yankee Stadium. All as a child, saw Joe DiMaggio at an all-time old timers day. He was 51 years old and he hit a home run that day. You can look it up. Went to see, and this was the same day that Joe DiMaggio. They played Cleveland in a doubleheader. The Yankees really sucked then, and Pepitone had a great day. That much I could tell you. Um, what else? I saw Denny McClain up close and personal the year after he won 31. That I'd never seen a human being throw the ball like this. And from that close, oof, it was scary. Scary good. Um, all right, what else we got? Fenway Park. First time I ever set eyes on Fenway Park, I'm like, this is a joke. This is a dream. I can't believe it. There's nothing about the aura of an old non-symmetrical ballpark, Yankee Stadium. The outfields just runs off forever. They got freaking people buried in literally buried, and there's gravestones of their body out there. I wouldn't be surprised, but the old Yankee Stadium, the ghost of Yankee Stadium, and then you're talking about the curse of Fenway and the scoreboard, the, the scoreboard. A human being actually goes in and posts the score each inning. It's something special. And my favorite has got to be Wrigley Field. Made it out to Wrigley as a young man in a different adventure, but I went out there and visited somebody I had met, and we went to a baseball game uh, on July 4th. It was the Cubs against the Expos. And the reason I'll always remember this is real simple to remember. I looked it up and I found it in 5, 10 minutes. Well, I found the box score from the game looking for a double header, and they were double headers in those days, but I tracked it down and I could tell you that the upstart Montreal Expos kicked the shit out of the Cubs. They won one game, something like 19-5. They ended up throwing a batter, Larry Bittner, on the hill, and somebody cracked a homer off him. I don't remember if it was Dawson or Valentine or uh, they had this guy Cromartie. They had this outfield that was just looking like to beat the band and to match any outfield of all time as far as hitting, fielding, everything, speed, and but it just didn't, it didn't come to be for any great length of time. But what a great special moment in my life it was to see that. I went to a World Series game, but that's not going to count because that was at crappy old Shea Stadium. Yeah, a lot of good memories, but as far as the ballpark, very blasé. Not nothing to write home about, as they say. Um, I got a honorable mention here. Nope, we're not there yet. So Olympic Stadium in Montreal, they built this ballpark slash stadium for the Olympics. I mean, hmm, who would have guessed that? But anyhow, Carrie and Trey and I were in Montreal. We were visiting her parents and took a little side trip into nearby Canada. Went to Montreal for a little bit, and I dragged them to a baseball game at the stadium. Stady, I forget what it was called in French, but that was quite remarkable going into an indoor stadium like that. Um, and Randy Johnson was on the hill. This I will not forget. And he struck out like 15, 16 batters, something like that. It was not major league history, but he was really fast and big and dominant. Um, the big sombrero. This is the last of the stadiums. We got Yankee Stadium, many ball games. The Fens, yep, baseball. Wrigley, baseball. Getting boring here. Olympic Stadium, baseball. Here's a football stadium for you. Tampa Stadium. Uh, it's also known as the Big Sombrero. I love that stadium, just the feel of it, a big bowl. I guess it reminded me of Yale Bowl in a way, only it arched up would it be the end zones? Yeah, it did literally look like a giant sombrero. I think Chris Berman uh, is the one that invented that. But if not, I'm going to give it to him anyhow. Boomer, you bastard. I used to love Chris Berman in the day. He was the man. He had the nicknames. He was cool. He was just like ahead of the curve guy before ESPN became ESPN. He was, a kid. Went to Brown University. He's from New England, um, and he ended up living in Cheshire, and that's a whole nother saga. But Chris Berman was the man. He's washed up shell of himself now. It's pitiful to see, and this is what sucks in covering sports and watching sports, and, even music, and you see it in acting. And when people get over the hill, it's not pretty. Uh, but that's neither here nor there. So, two other things, and I'm at 10 minutes, so this is not terrible. Rutgers went to a Rutgers a stadium in New Jersey. I tracked this much down. I'm still gluing the pieces together, but went to a national lacrosse championship game, and I tracked it down to the mid '70s. I knew it was in Jersey, and there was a stadium in that may or may not still be there, and at Rutgers where this game took place, and it was Johns Hopkins against Maryland. I'm pretty sure Syracuse. Two of those three teams played in this game, and I was pretty intense. It was really cool, even for the game. I didn't understand, didn't know what was going on, but I figured it out real quick. It was violent and it was crazy. I mean, it's like a mini World Cup kind of thing. So that's about it. And the last, I got to mention the Atlanta sports saga. Went to Fulton County. I saw Hank break the record. Everybody that knows me, that knows I'm a baseball fan, will probably tell you that story. But yes, I did go to that game. Ended up going to the TED. The Benz was a recent development. In fact, I was a season ticket holder at the Benz for the first 2 years. What were you thinking, Gobbler? I was thinking I ended up with free football tickets and then big vacations for free. Well, not so much, but broke even the first year. The second year, it might have cost me a little money, but I went to a few games. Even went back for a third year when I wasn't a season ticket holder, and that was a disaster. Disaster. But anyhow, that's it. That's the end of my rant in less than 13 minutes. I'm sure you guys have been to a million things, saw a lot of events out.